So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And I can't lie to y'all, bro. I miss my lady, man. I miss my lady. Betty White was my lady, man. One of the best of, I can't say our generation because she transcended so many. I would say my grandmother's generation, man. One of the best, like, she was a comedian, actress, all that type of stuff, man. One of the best to ever do it. And bro, her spirit is truly, truly missed. So we're going to get into some top 20 Betty White moments and check them out. All right. So if you new, hit the subscribe button. If you miss Betty White, hit the like and subscribe button, man. And let's check this out.
You just never know when your whole past is going to be brought out around here.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Betty White moments.
I would like to sing.
Let's get it on. Sugar, let's get it on.
I'm not doing it for myself, you understand, but for those ladies out there who need me.
For this list, we're looking at this Golden Girl's best moments throughout her long and incredible career across television, movies, and popular culture. What's your favorite Betty White moment? Share it with us in the comments.
I ain't even got to put it in the comments, man. I think I done said it before on here. But when she played in, what was it, Lake Placid, and she told the cop, if this is where I had I'd tell you, yo, I tell Queen, me and Queen laugh about that line all the time, bro. That is one of the most iconic, funniest lines to me that she ever spat out, bro. Genius.
Number 20, her Deadpool review. You might recall the hilarious Funny or Die sketch that exposed the supposed feud between Betty White and Ryan Reynolds.
Betty, I play an assistant in the movie, and I'm an actor in real life, and you should know
When
that.
Betty White says she wants a cup of coffee, you get her a cup of coffee.
Well, it seems that they must have buried the hatchet afterwards, as White took to social media to share her thoughts on his movie Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds looks so f***ing handsome in his red leather suit. I give it 4 Golden Girls.
She gives a rather colorful critique of the movie filled with expletives.
Once in a generation, a movie comes along that your whole family will love. If your family is a up group of kissing inbreds.
If you're still not sure if she really enjoyed it, the 4 Golden Girls she awards should...
Yo, man! There will never be another.
help you figure it out. Not to mention her Deadpool throne. Number 19, her breakout role, Life with Elizabeth. Life with Elizabeth was a breakout sketch from Hollywood on television, and White's breakthrough in the sitcom world.
1953 to 1955. Fam, she's forgot more about, when she was alive, she forgot more about acting than most people probably even dreamed about.
You're like a Baskerville. That's funny. Hounds of the Baskerville. Isn't that a...
The short skits focused on newlyweds maneuvering within married life.
Why, you
Elizabeth, honey,
come back here!
You're causing a scene here.
I cancel! Even if it's free, I cancel!
The pair would often find themselves at odds, resulting in Alvin walking off in frustration. Each episode was broken up into 3 incidents and usually ended with a voiceover asking Elizabeth if she's ashamed of upsetting her husband.
Elizabeth, wouldn't it have been easier to just ask him if you could go? Stubborn as a mule, huh?
She would sheepishly nod before cheekily shaking her head. It was popular with audiences, but still ended up getting cancelled after 65 episodes. Still, this was the role that got White her first ever Emmy win. Number 18, I'm Still Hot, the Lifeline program. This commercial for a life insurance company masqueraded as a music video starring British rap artist Luciana and Betty White.
It's smoking hot. You think you're so hot.
The duo revamped Luciana's song I'm Still Hot, and of course, White steals the show with her killer dance moves and Golden Girls throwbacks.
I get it from the front. I left my Emmys in my beatbox.
The video even won awards for Best Branding Social Media Video and Best Viral Video Campaign. It also peaked
That just goes to show you how funny, talented, well-known, and loved she was. For her to be able to step on your, in your, you know what I mean? What you do, and take over and outshine you. You know what I'm saying? It was just a testament, bro, to just how we gotta give her flowers. You know what I mean? You gotta continue to, keep her legacy going.
at number 1 on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart in 2011.
I will get you sweaty, 'cause I'm the Big Betty. I can do whatever. Guess what? I'm so hot.
While a rap battle can only have one winner, when you're sitting in the back of a limo eating cheesecake with Betty White, you've pretty much won as well. Number 17, Being an Ally, Larry King Now. The Golden Girls was often celebrated for its relatively progressive support of the LGBTQ+ community.
The gay bars would stop the music, and at 9 o'clock the show would come on. They'd all watch the show, and then 9:30 they'd turn it off and then start the dancing again.
And the actresses who starred in it proved that they were allies behind the scenes too. On one such occasion in 2014, while appearing on Larry King Now, Betty White was presented with a fan question about a relationship with the queer community and what she would say to its haters.
And what do you have to say to those against gay advances like gay marriage and the like?
She responded that she can't understand why people get so caught up in details about someone else's private life, and that all that matters is what kind of person someone is.
I don't understand. It's such a personal, private business, and none of mine.
You're so right.
Number 16, all 3 Betty White shows. The Betty White Show. Imagine being so iconic you get 3 separate shows all with your name in the title.
You just never know when your whole past is going to be brought out around here.
In 1954, The Betty White Show was a variety talk show where she would speak to guests, answer fan mail, and sing with the orchestra.
It's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. It's a good day. How can anything go wrong? 'Cause it's a good day from morning till night.
In its next life, it was a comedy variety show that lasted just 14 episodes. Finally, in 1977, it became a sitcom about an actress in a fictional cop show that's being directed by her ex-husband. Needless to say, neither is particularly happy about having the other back in their life. And boy, do they make sure they know it.
Oh, will we see you at the wedding?
You bet. I'll be the one with bells on.
Good. I'll just tell everybody to look for the ding-a-ling.
Number 15, Live With It, The Betty White Show. Speaking of The Betty White Show, there's a reason its first iteration was so short-lived. One of the show's recurring guests was black singer and tap dancer Arthur Duncan.
Drop everything and let the harmony ring up to heaven. Sing, you sinners.
In his early 20s at the time, he was experiencing his big career breakthrough.
The first TV show I'd ever been on, and I credit Betty White for really getting me started in show business, in television.
However, in response to his appearances, stations in southern states angrily threatened to boycott the show. Betty White's response was simple.
So I said, I'm sorry, but, he stays or live with it.
Instead of getting rid of Duncan, she actually...
Can you not love her, bro? Can you, anybody to stand up for somebody else? You know what I'm saying? Even if it means the cancellation of your show with your name in it. You know what I mean? You're out in the forefront. And for her to do that, that was just... I'm just saying, it's so many layers to her.
Actually gave him more time on the show. Amid the backlash, the show was soon canceled, but as we know, it was far from the final word.
Honestly, you just would think these fellas would know. Wouldn't you think so?
Number 14, Becoming an Author. Somehow, between all her appearances on screen, White also managed to become an accomplished author.
She has been an animal advocate all her life and just released a new book called Betty and Friends, Her Love for the Zoo.
Throughout her thriving career, she wrote multiple memoirs, fiction for adults and kids, and books advocating for animal welfare, a cause close to her heart.
I've been a zoo lover, and animals of all kinds have always fascinated me.
She actually won a Grammy for the audiobook of her memoir, If You Ask Me, and of course you won't, in 2012. Betty's life and long and varied career certainly make for fascinating reads. With so many accomplishments, her attitude towards sleep is not surprising.
Sleeping is sort of dull. A lot of other good stuff that you can do without just lying down and closing your eyes.
Oh, yeah. Number 13, playing Elka Ostrovsky, hot in Cleveland. After their plane is forced to make an emergency landing in Cleveland, 3 ladies on board decide they might just stick around. They rent a home from a sassy caretaker named Elka, played by White.
Does anyone else smell pot? What are you, a cop? No. Then what's it to you?
Elka is hilariously direct and opinionated, always ready with a biting remark, especially when it comes to joy.
I get to stay in America. That's another reason to go to Canada.
She's certainly a colorful character with a fascinating life and more dating game than all the other ladies put together.
Oh, no worries. If you can escape from the Nazis, you can handle anything.
You escaped from the Nazis?
Escaping from the Nazis was the least of my worries.
Elka was only supposed to appear in the pilot episode, but after rave reviews, the producers just knew they had to make her a regular. Number 12, the first lady of game shows.
Again, steps on a show and takes over. That's the type of aura she had, bro. You know what I mean? Fans probably wrote that director so many letters, was like, no, bring her back. Bring her back.
Betty White made frequent appearances in the game show circuit, earning her the title First Lady of Game Shows. She could often be seen alongside other Hollywood legends in the game Password. The show was hosted by Alan Ludden, who White would later go on to marry. She was also a regular panelist on Match Game.
Oh, you made a propeller? Did it work? Yes, it worked. That's how Leonardo da Vinci started.
That's right.
Then in 1983, she made history as the first woman to win a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host. Ironically, she won this award for hosting a game show called Just Men.
On the subject of handyman. Somebody threw a wrench in the works.
Number 11, playing Grandma Annie, The Proposal. After turning 86, White showed no signs of slowing down as she signed on to play the lovable Grandma Annie in the 2009 rom-com, The Proposal.
Well, what are you faking a heart attack, right?
Come on! I thought it was the only way I could get you two to shut up and get us to the airport.
Grammy is sweet yet sassy, but at heart, all she wants is to see her family happy. Even if that means swallowing her feelings about her grandson's new fiancé.
Now, do you prefer being called Margaret or Satan's mistress? We've heard it both ways.
White said she was drawn to the script as it's very rare to find great roles for people her age. She also said that once she learned she'd be working alongside Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, there was simply no way she was going to pass it up.
Let's see if we can find your boobs. They're in there somewhere. There. This is like an Easter egg.
Number 10, a celebration for Betty White, the 70th Primetime Emmy Awards. After her introduction as the greatest of all time at the...
I like seeing this because these award shows don't always get it right, bro. They don't always get it right. But to see while she was still alive that she got her flowers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're supposed to see. That's what's supposed to happen. They got it right that time. All that she's done and the work she put in.
70th Primetime Emmy Awards, White was met with a long and well-deserved standing ovation from the audience.
Thank you. I'm just gonna quit while I'm ahead.
Her speech was the perfect blend of funny and sentimental, as she reflected on her title as the First Lady of Television.
And I took it as a big compliment. And then I heard her talking to her daughter a little later, and she said, oh, First Lady, yeah, she's that old. She was the first one way back.
It blows our mind how after so many years in the industry and countless accolades, she was able to remain so humble. Everyone might have been there to honor her sensational career, but she made us all somehow feel like she was the one honoring us.
It's incredible that I'm still in this business, that I'm still, and you are still putting up with me. No, I believe me. No, I'm thanking you.
And that only makes us love her more. Number 9, Drinking with Letterman, Late Show with David Letterman. Betty White has been a great source of entertainment. whether she's playing a character or just being herself.
And will you be doing Saturday Night Live again?
Not that I know of. No.
Now, do you have representation?
No. Do you have any ideas? No, I think you do a thing once and then you run like a thief.
I think you...
While celebrating her 89th birthday, she stopped by Late Show to talk about her life and career with David Letterman. When he asks her about her favorite pastimes, her response had the audience cracking up with laughter.
Oh, I like to do most anything, play with animals mostly, and vodka's kind of a hobby. And...
But clearly the host came prepared.
Imagine getting to have a drink with Betty White, bro. Imagine if you were able to do that when she was alive. Man. And then y'all see me, I slip up and I still talk about her as she's still here. That's how much I was a fan, bro. I was a fan. I know it just probably seems weird that I was a super Betty White fan, bro.
Pulling out a bottle and 2 glasses and pouring her a very generous sized drink. Of course, once the booze starts flowing, things get even funnier. But nothing is more wholesome or hilarious than Betty's reaction. Number 8, The Family, The Carol Burnett Show. This sketch began its life on The Carol Burnett Show. It follows a mother and daughter who constantly butt heads. White made guest appearances as Ellen, Eunice's older sister, a snobby elitist who wants nothing to do with the family unless it benefits her in some way.
None for me, Mom. All that refined sugar, that just takes every bit of vitamin B right out of your system. A lot of it over the years makes a person half crazy. But you all go right ahead and enjoy it.
She's their mother's favorite and has a seemingly perfect life, which is often a source of irritation for Eunice.
Lord, can I go to some ritzy parties in this, though? I'm so glad one of my girls married someone with some get up and go.
The sketch was so popular, it spawned a spin-off called Mama's Family. After its 2nd season, White's appearances became less frequent since she, and her co-star Rue McClanahan, had moved on to another show.
Well, who needs you? An organ grinder makes better music than you do.
That's because he has a better monkey than I do.
Number 7, hosting SNL, Saturday Night Live. Although Lorne Michaels tried to get Betty to host the show numerous times, the stars didn't align until 2010.
My first live sitcom, which was Life of Elizabeth, and of course back then, we didn't want to do it live. We just didn't know how to tape things. So I don't know what this show's excuse is.
Well, that and a rather interesting campaign we'll come back to later. Still, in season 35, she became the oldest person to host the show, and it was certainly a memorable occasion. The night was full of highlights, from the Scared Straight sketch to Census Taker versus Old Lady.
Are there any people living in this residence part-time?
Oh, goodness, yes. There's Fluffy, Princess, Tigger, Socks.
Oh, and these are people we're talking about and not cats, right?
There's really no way of knowing.
Naturally, Betty was invited back for the show's 40th anniversary, where she featured in the hilarious sketch, The Californians.
Hey, you never said whatever happened to that balloon operator.
Oh, yes. He took good care of me. If you know what I mean. His name was
Greg. Or Greg.
She gave a performance no one would ever forget. Least of all, Bradley Cooper. Number 6, performing for Morgan Freeman, the 39th AFI Awards.
Wow.
Is there really any greater prize than having Betty White perform in your honor? If Morgan Freeman's reaction is anything to go by, the answer is no. As always, she manages to find a way to balance the more touching moments with comedy, and no one seems more delighted than the actor himself.
What can I say? I only did it so I could work with Morgan. And of course, for the cash, you know.
The best moment is when she fulfills an old dream with her Hello Dolly performance. As humorous as this moment is, you can still see Freeman getting a tad emotional. If this...
Yeah, man. I would have been too, bro. Look. You could just see the admiration in his eyes.
Isn't a sign of true friendship, we don't know what is. rapping for Queen Latifah. VH1 Hip Hop Honors. All hail the Queens. In 2016, Betty White was asked to pay tribute to Queen Latifah, who was being honored for her reigning force in the hip hop world. To celebrate this momentous moment, Betty put her own spin on the 1993 Grammy Award-winning rap UNITY.
Who you calling a bitch? I walked past these dudes. When they passed me, one of them felt...
I'm saying, I'm one of one, she is. One of one. Ah, man.
my booty. He was nasty.
There is nothing more joyous than hearing White do a dramatic reading of the rap.
Since he was with his boys, he tried to break fly. I punched him dead in his eye. They don't write him like that anymore.
White took to Twitter as well to send an additional congratulatory message to her friend. Surely we can't be the only ones who would have liked to see the two collaborate after this performance. Number 4, the Snickers ad, Super Bowl 44. Remember when we said White's stint on SNL was linked to a campaign?
I have so many people to thank for being here, but I really have to thank Facebook.
Well, during the 2010 Super Bowl, White appeared in the now famous You're Not You When You're Hungry Snickers commercial. Viewers adored seeing a hangry Betty White, and it instantly became a pop culture phenomenon.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Oh, come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
According to a poll on USA Today, it was even voted the #1 Super Bowl commercial that year. It also spawned a Facebook campaign to get White on Saturday Night Live, which was signed by hundreds of thousands of fans. Number 3, playing Suzanne Nivens, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Although the part wasn't written for White, they were looking for a, quote, icky sweet Betty White type. And who could fit the bill better than, well, Betty White?
I'm not doing it for myself, you understand, but for those ladies out there who need me.
Suzanne comes across as a cheerful and perfect homemaker on the outside. But when the cameras stop rolling, the claws come out.
I don't think a nice person wouldn't point out the dubious ethics of an associate producer auditioning for her own show. A really nice person wouldn't use phrases like undue influence or conflict of interest or a two-bit double-crossing thing.
She first appeared in the show's 4th season in what should have been a one-time only guest appearance. However, since she was a huge hit, the series creator told her, quote, don't make too many plans.
I want a job where I don't have to smile. I don't like smiling all the time. It's against my nature.
Suzanne, you're smiling.
I am. Right now?
Uh-huh.
She would go on to win 2 Emmy Awards for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Number 2, receiving her Lifetime Achievement Award, the 16th Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Her radiant optimism and caring and kindness are legendary in our business, and to those who doubt that God has a sense of humor, there is irrefutable evidence to the contrary. He gave us an actor named Betty White.
Betty White's reaction to being honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award was proof of her national treasure status. Even after 6 decades in the industry, she was modest and showed grace and gratitude to everyone who'd supported her since the beginning.
I should be presenting an award to you for the privilege of working in this wonderful business all this time. And you still can't get rid of me.
It is humbling to watch someone acknowledge their privilege in the way that she did. We love how she had us welling up one moment and then howling with laughter the next.
How lucky can I be to have 2 such passions? Show business and animals. Actually, I may have more than 2 passions, but that's none of your business.
It was no surprise that she was met with such a long-standing ovation, as she deserved every single second. Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Like her family, like they were truly lucky to be able to be in her presence all the time, man. Just imagine sitting at her feet and listening to her tell stories or make you laugh or just, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I cherish those moments with my grandma.
Betty meets people who have tattoos of her face. Jimmy Kimmel Live. Now that's what we call devoted fans.
How does this make you feel, Betty?
Oh, it makes me feel wonderful and so glad that I'm not them.
Playing herself, Ugly Betty. Wilhelmina is no match for Betty White.
Have you lost your mind, old woman?
Did I not mention that Regis and Kelly called? And The View. They want me. They all want me. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. This feud is huge, and I'm gonna milk it till it's dry.
A late night regular. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. She often appeared in sketches alongside her buddy Johnny.
Tarzan, all men.
Then how come when you take a shower under the waterfall, the hyenas all stand around and laugh at you?
Hyenas always laugh.
Yes, but they don't usually point.
Accepting her People's Choice Award, the 41st People's Choice Awards. The people have spoken.
I cannot possibly say thank you, or can you imagine the People's Choice at 93? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Playing Rose Nyland, The Golden Girls. How could we not choose St. Olaf's finest for our top spot? You might be interested to know that Betty White was actually originally cast as Blanche, but due to the similarities with Suzanne Nivens, she switched with Rue McClanahan, who was in the same position with her role.
Listen, if he walks by, just pretend we're having a conversation and casually mention my unparalleled ability to satisfy a man.
Rose is sweet, good-natured, and wide-eyed, though she could surprise anyone who took her naivete for granted.
The ceiling in your room leaking too?
No, Dorothy, I just finished milking the cow I keep in my closet. Gee, with only 3 hours sleep, I can be as bitchy as you.
We loved a good old St. Olaf story, and of course, learning new vocabulary.
So one might say you brought Geflerken into the 80s?
Yes, but I'm not one to blow my own Vertuvenflugen.
She won an Emmy for the role in 1986 and continued to get nominated in the Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series category for every season of the show's run. Do you agree with our picks?
Listen, man, my grandma had that show on repeat every time it came on. Fall asleep to it, she would, in her chair, in her bed. Like, you know what I mean? For some of us, we know that show all too well because of our elders, you know what I'm saying? So, man, rest in peace, and continue to rest in paradise to the late, great Betty White, man. We miss you. She was one of the best, bro. Y'all get at me, let me know what you think. Till the next one, I'm gone. Peace.